Lee, the principal of the Hayward Elementary Schools. For many years, our school has been thrilled to host our Veterans Day program for our staff, the Hayward community, and for all of our veterans near and far. I'm standing right here today in our gymnasium all alone. Because during normal times, we would be here and we'd have a packed house and we would be ready for an amazing celebration. But due to COVID-19, I'm here alone. But in our school, we weren't willing to just say no more Veterans Day program. So we are putting together a program for you on video, and I really hope that you enjoy it. On behalf of the students and the staff at the Hayward Intermediate School, and from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you, all veterans, for your service to our great country, the United States of America. Happy Veterans Day, everyone.
Hello everyone, my name is Stephanie St. Germain. I am from Lac du Flambeau, Wisconsin. I currently live in Hayward, Wisconsin, and I served 5 years in the Navy. This is my second master's degree from Ashford University. I'm graduating with my master's in education, and thanks for listening. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cecilia.
And I'm Trista.
Hey Trista, how do we start every day here at Hayward Intermediate School?
Breakfast?
No, after that we find our seats, do our morning work, then there are announcements, and we...
Listen intently to every word Miss Lee has to say.
But how do we end the announcements every day?
With the Pledge of Allegiance.
Exactly, man, you're trying. Now I know Mrs. Crawford feels. But yes, the pledge. And here's a third grade class doing the Pledge of Allegiance.
And to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
Hi, I'm Joey.
And I'm Cole.
Listen, Cole, why won't the dog attend the Veterans Day parade?
I don't know, why?
Too many vets.
I don't get it.
I'll explain later. Anyway, this year's third grade classes have made signs supporting our vets and active service members to be displayed on the street the week of Veterans Day.
That's cool. Let's take a look.
Happy Veterans Day! Thank you, veterans! Thank you, veterans! Happy Veterans Day! Thank you, veterans! Happy Veterans Day! Thank you, veterans! Happy Veterans Day!
Hi, my name is Justin.
And I'm Finn.
One tradition here in Hayward Intermediate School is to write letters to active service members serving abroad.
It's a small thing that we can do to give to them who sacrificed so much for us here back at home.
Every day they are over there, away from their homes and families, keeping us safe and free.
I couldn't imagine being away from my family for that long. Well, most of the time.
While we keep this tradition alive, let's take a look at some students writing letters to active service members thanking them.
Happy Veterans Day.
Hi, I'm Claire.
Hi, I'm Mikey.
Sometimes veterans have a hard time returning home from service. A place like a vet center is one way these service members can receive support.
A vet center is a place where vets can gather with other vets, as well as community members. Many vet centers have programs set up to help our veterans.
Located at our Hayward Vet Center, we will be hearing from a veteran from our school.
It must be my teacher. Sometimes they're like a drill sergeant.
No, it's actually a former Marine and Army soldier. He served 11 years in the U.S. military and did a tour of duty in Iraq. It's our Dean of Students, Mr. Radabaugh.
Hello everyone, my name is Grady Radabaugh. I served as a Marine Reservist and a soldier in the Wisconsin Army National Guard. I'm a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom. I served as an infantryman in the Diyala province of Iraq in 2004 and 2005 with Bravo Company, 1st Battalion, 128th Infantry, 32nd Brigade Combat Team, Wisconsin Army National Guard. Yes, I served and I'm proud of my service, but that's not what I'm here to talk about today. I'm here to honor the service and sacrifice of all the other men and women that volunteered to put on a uniform and go into the fray. I'll always support them and honor them. They are brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, sons, and daughters. Some served as frontline combat personnel, some as engineers, some as cooks, mechanics, pilots, and many other roles. But what binds all of us is that they stepped up when our country needed them. I also want to thank the families of veterans. We must not take them for granted. The military spouse that takes care of everything back home has an incredibly hard and stressful job. Not only do they take care of the home front, but they must also bear the burden of the unknown, of lonely nights, of long periods of time wondering where their spouse is, what they're doing, or if they're even okay. Thank you to the children of service members who endure long stretches of their lives not seeing their mothers and fathers. Thank you to the parents of veterans for raising a child that has a sense of selfless service, of honor and duty, who serves a righteous cause that is greater than oneself and serves our great American cause of freedom. In the military, we do not care about your political affiliation, your religion, your skin color, your gender, where you come from, or how much money you have. We support and love each other because our survival depended on the guy to our left and our right. The bond that is formed in those tough times is something special and unbreakable. I wish all Americans could share in that special bond that veterans share. The attacks on our country on September 11th, 2001 were absolutely horrible. However, those attacks did unite our country. I wish we could all return to the mindset of September 12th, 2001, when we were all united. We cared for each other and worked together regardless of our differences. We were proud Americans. So what is the point of all this? People serve others all the time, all over the world. It's a big deal, right? Don't other countries have armies and navies? Don't they go into harm's way? Aren't their citizens proud of their veterans? Yes, they do, and yes, I'm sure they are. But what makes serving this nation different? Are we the same as any other country in the world? I don't believe we are. But why? What makes us great? What makes us special? Study our history, the good and the bad. Learn from our history, the good and the bad. Learn why the United States is different. Learn why our system of limited government has freed millions of people all around the world from the chains of bondage and lifted millions from poverty. Are we perfect? No. No nation is. But I do believe we are special, and America is still worth fighting for. Learn for yourself why. So on this Veterans Day, in this strange time of social media, politicization of daily life, and national division, I challenge you to earn the blessings of freedom which were paid for by the veterans and their families. Be the one that unites our country, our community. Be the one who is grateful for the sacrifices of others. Be the one that is willing to continue the never-ending fight for liberty. Take care of each other. Take care of each other. Help your neighbors. Find things that you have in common with others rather than our differences. Thank a veteran, a firefighter, EMT, or a police officer. Be kind to people. Earn that great privilege of being a free and proud American. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ransom.
Hi, I'm Addison.
Hey, Addison, did you know there are about 1.3 million active service members in the U.S. military?
Yep.
Well, did you know there are about 18.2 million veterans in the U.S. currently?
You mean according to the latest 2020 statistical data? Yep.
Is there anything you don't know, wise guy?
Dividing fractions?
Well, anyway, let's hear the song American Tears, performed by the Intermediate School, taught to us by the new music teacher, Miss Sheehan.
Sometimes I think about America, about her struggles through the years. I think of people who did what they had to do with the strength to act through their fears. Sometimes I think about America, about her future and her past. I know I'm blessed to be living in liberty in a land where freedom will last. For the heroes, for the patriots, for the soldiers, for all the pioneers, I will always be an American, and I'll always cry American tears. Sometimes I think about America, about her people's legacy. I wonder if they knew that what they had to do would be known throughout history. Sometimes I think about America, about her pain along the way. I know it had to be for our democracy, for the world we live in today. For the heroes, for the patriots, for the soldiers, for all the pioneers, I will always be an American, and I'll always cry American tears.
Hi, I'm Celia.
Hi, I'm Haley.
Another tradition we want to keep alive for our Veterans Day program is the writing and reading of essays by the 4th grade students. Last year, both of us were privileged enough to get to read our essays.
It's been a tradition since 1986 at the Harrah Community Schools. That might even be before my parents were born. Then again, I don't understand time well.
We are proud to keep this tradition alive. Here are this year's winners reading their essays.
Hi, my name is Morgan Rasmussen, and the title of my essay is called Appreciating All Veterans. Did you know that Veterans Day used to be called Armistice Day? It was called that because of an agreement to end World War I. The name was changed to Veterans Day so we could honor all veterans who have served our country. Two of the people we honor on November 11th, Veterans Day, are my grandpa and my uncle. My grandpa, Jerry Passo, served in the Army National Guard. He was drafted when he was 20 years old. His job was to be a radio technician. He learned discipline and work habits. He believes that veterans are the backbones of our free country. All the men in his family had served in the military. He said he would definitely serve again. My uncle, Brian Passo, served in the Marines. When I asked him why he chose the Marines, he joked that the Marines had the best uniform. He signed up for the Marines when he was 17 years old. He turned 18 during boot camp. He was in active duty until he was 22 years old. When he was 28, he re-enlisted because that's when 9/11 happened. My uncle worked in an ER at the time and thought to himself, some of the people fighting for our free country are really young. He had experience and he wanted to help keep some of these people alive so they could come back to their families. His job during both enlistments was to be a part of the anti-armor operations. They used wire-guided missiles to fight tanks and armored personnel carriers. First, he was deployed to Kuwait. He remembers the first few days being a very scary time. They had to rely on their equipment and their training, and the guys around them. For the first 4 days, rockets were being launched towards them. They couldn't fight back, and they were constantly moving. He remembers another time in March, it would get really cold that night. During the day, they were busy running operations. They were driving a lot, and there was no time off. At night, they would dig their positions and get everything secured. They hadn't showered in 2 full weeks. It got to the point where they smelled so bad, they finally had to do something about it. They came across an irrigation canal on the side of a field, and they all took baths in the disgusting water. He remembers how good it felt to finally bathe for the first time in 2 weeks. Another memory he shared was one of his scariest memories. His group had gotten hit by an artillery attack in the middle of the night while they were sleeping. He was on radio watch at the time, so he was relaxed with his headset on when all of a sudden an attack took place. Luckily, no one died that night. The Iraqis didn't have night vision, so they couldn't attack the exact position of the soldiers. It turns out that my uncle was only about 200 yards south of the intersection that was hit. My Uncle Brian served until 2004. When he returned home, he said things were different. He had a lot of sleeping problems. He would wake up every 3 to 4 hours. He would also have bad dreams. These problems lasted for a few years. Because of his service, when he came home, he said he was just happy to be alive. He learned to enjoy life a little bit more because he knew that not everyone gets to come home. These are only two examples of how people have served our country. There are a lot of different types of jobs in the armed forces. There are many ways people can serve in the military. We have to remember them and honor them. They are all veterans. Veterans fight. They take chances. They risk their lives. They are the heroes of our country. We owe it to them to show our appreciation and respect for their service. It's because of them that we live in a free country. If you see someone who served, remember to tell them thank you. That's one way to appreciate a soldier.
Hello, my name is Lachlan Sheehan, and the title of my essay is called Veterans Day. What is Veterans Day? Veterans Day is a day to celebrate the men and women who have served in the armed forces. It started as Armistice Day on November 11, 1919, which was the first anniversary of the end of World War I. In 1954, President Dwight D. Eisenhower changed the name from Armistice Day to Veterans Day. While Memorial Day is to remember those who gave their lives for our country, on Veterans Day we honor all those who have served in the country, both war and peace, both dead and alive. There are many important jobs in the armed forces. My grandpa Sheehan served in the Army. He was a part of the Armed Cavalry Unit during the Vietnam War. His unit was placed there to protect the Czechoslovakian border. Some of his duties were to drive trucks and order food for the mess halls. My great-grandpa Heitman was in the Navy and was stationed in Hawaii during World War II in 1946 after Pearl Harbor. He wanted to enlist earlier, but he couldn't because they needed him to work at the farm. My great-grandpa Kincaid was a doctor and served in the Army during World War II. He was stationed in New Jersey when Germany and Italy surrendered. Then he went to Camp Outerbury, Indiana, where he gave discharges exams to soldiers leaving the service. After that, he was transferred to Fort Knox, Kentucky, where his job was to treat sick GIs. He met my great-grandma there. I have several great-uncles that were drafted and served in the Army as well. My great-uncle Donnie was a sergeant in a tank squadron. His unit was used as security for the Marines as they advanced our lines during battles in 1967. My uncle Norm was a door gunner for an air cavalry unit. His helicopter crash-landed during an operation at a hot landing zone. All of my relatives were fortunate enough to come home after the war. On Veterans Day, we can thank veterans for their sacrifices. To celebrate Veterans Day, some people have parades, programs, speeches, and sometimes even plays. I think it is important to celebrate Veterans Day because they made many sacrifices to protect our country. Some live with mental and physical injuries to this day, while some gave their lives. So to all veterans, thank you for making my home a safe place and the world a better place.
Hi, I'm Jack.
And I'm Emilio.
Do you know there are 5 branches of the U.S. military?
What are they?
The Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and...
The Avengers.
No,
The Rebel Alliance.
different galaxy, my friend.
Hogwarts?
The Coast Guard.
That was even my next guess.
Doubt it. This year, the 4th and 5th grade classes were each assigned a different branch of the U.S. military. Let's see their tributes to each branch. Hogwarts?
What?
We are Mr. Bessel's class. We were assigned the Army for our branch.
The Army is the Land Warfare Service Branch. It is the oldest branch of the U.S. military, tracing its roots to before the Declaration of Independence. The Army is the largest military branch. The official motto of the U.S. Army.
This will defend.
And here is Mr. Viner's class singing The Army Goes Rolling Along, the song of the U.S. Army.
Over hill, over dale, we will hit the dusty trail, and the Army goes rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march right about, and the Army
largest naval force in the world. U.S. Navy traces its origins back to the Revolutionary War. U.S. Navy does not have an official motto, but its unofficial motto is
Semper Fortis, always courageous.
And here is Mrs. Hofer's class singing Anchors Away, the song of the U.S. Navy.
Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Through our last night on shore, drink to the foam, until we meet once more. Here's wishing you a happy voyage home. We are Mrs. Wisner's class. We have chosen the U.S. Air Force for our military branch.
The Air Force is the Aerial Warfare Service branch. The U.S. Air Force was formed in 1947. Only 4% of the U.S. Air Force personnel are pilots. The Air Force provides support for the other military branches. The official motto for the U.S. Air Force is
Aim high, fly, fight, win.
And now, here's Mrs. Brennan's class singing the U.S. Air Force, the song of the U.S. Air Force.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atta boys, give her the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one terrible course. We live in fame, we'll go down in flame. Hey, nothing will stop the U.S. Air Force. We are Miss Radcliffe's class. We are assigned to the U.S. Marines as our branch.
The Marines conduct expeditionary and amphibious operations. The U.S. Marines were founded on November 10, 1775. They conduct missions with the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The official motto of the U.S. Marines is
Semper Fidelis, always faithful.
And here is Mrs. Sutton's class singing the Marines hymn, the song of the U.S. Marines.
From the halls of Mount Azula to the shores of Tripoli, when we fight our country's battles on the air, land, and sea. First we fight our rights and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. We are Mr. Berghammer's class. We were assigned the Coast Guard for our branch.
The Coast Guard is the Coastal Defense, Search and Rescue, and Maritime Law Enforcement Service branch. It was formed on August 4th, 1790. Coast Guard operates in both domestic and international waters, unique in being the only branch that is a federal regulatory agency. The official motto of the U.S. Coast Guard.
Semper Paratus, always ready. And here's Mrs. Crawford's class singing Semper Paratus, the song of the U.S. Coast Guard. We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through surf and storm and howling gale, how shall our purpose be? Semper Paratus is our guide, our faith
Nicole.
And I'm Xandra. What do you think most kids think of when I say the U.S. military?
Soldiers fighting in wars.
The American military does that when needed, but did you know the American military operations other than war include deterring war, resolving conflicts, promoting peace, and supporting civil authorities? The U.S. military does a lot of humanitarian work across the world.
In the U.S. military, many serve at important jobs you wouldn't think of. They include engineers, nurses, doctors, lawyers, human resources, photographers, mathematicians, scientists, financial planners, marketing, and so much more.
With that being said, there are many ways many have served our country.
Here are just some of the military veterans that have served that are related to us here at the Hayward Intermediate School.
Thank you everyone for taking the time to watch our video. I hope you really enjoyed it. And we also are very hopeful that next year on Veterans Day we can be right here celebrating and honoring our veterans together. Thanks and have a great day.